Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new League of Legends video. So there have definitely been some changes going around with Zed, some on the live servers and some still on the PvE. So in this video we'll talk about the nerfs that are currently on the live servers and the buffs that might hit the live servers but are still on the PvE. And if the Zed buffs do hit the live servers, we'll be estimating or guessing just how strong he might actually be. So for the past couple of patches, Zed has definitely not been as favored as he once was. He wasn't really considered a very high value pick, and in fact if you picked him then you better really know what the hell you're doing on this champion, or else you're just putting your team in a very bad position. So with the season 6 definitely on its way in the current preseason, the overall game pace has definitely changed to the point where not only are games a lot shorter, but they're also much more snowbally. And it seems like Riot is eyeballing Zed to try and make him come back as a value pick and a feared assassin, especially with the ADCs getting the majority of the buffs and changes this preseason and season 6. So before we talk about the potential buffs, let's actually dive into what the current nerfs are on the live servers. So essentially it was a bug fix, as Riot has stated, that changed the way that Zed's W and Q ability interact. So now if you were to throw out your W and also use your Q while the W is still flying out, normally it would come out very quickly, but they changed it to the point where the W's shadow has to finally fully take its place before you can fire out the Q. So Zed himself still does fire out the Q at the same exact speed as before, but the shadow does have a bit of a delay now. So the best way to actually see this nerf is, well, to see it in action. So as you're gonna see in this example right here, the Q flying out from the shadow feels a lot slower and much more delayed compared to before. So naturally if you're a Zed player, well, this kind of sucks, but if you hate facing Zed, or you're not a Zed player but you're a mid player, well, this is actually pretty good for you. So what does this really mean for Zed and Zed players? Well, without question, harassing in the lane with the WQ is gonna be more difficult, since of course the delay is there now. And it just makes Zed feel like a more clunky champion. Doesn't necessarily feel just as smooth as he once did. So if you still want to land those Qs from your shadow in the laning phase, which you probably do if you actually want to win your lane, a lot of the times you will most likely have to use your W and your E only, and then wait a couple of seconds before firing off your Q, because you can use the slow from your WE to guarantee the Q hits, or at least make it easier. Or you can bluff out your opponent and just use the WE and not necessarily have to fire out the Q, because the opponent naturally will be expecting the Q to come out within the next 2 or 3 seconds, so they'll be trying to dodge it, probably miss CS because they're worried about your Q, and it can let you play mind games like that. Now unless you play Zed quite a bit, chances are you won't really feel the true impact of this so-called nerf. However, if you are an avid Zed player, well, you're definitely gonna feel a delay. For sure, this is an unfortunate change for us Zed players, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But next, let's talk about the good things coming up for Zed that are currently on the PvE. So there are 2 buffs in store, the first of which increasing Zed's W shadow cast range by 100, and buffing Zed's ultimate's damage at rank 1 and rank 2. Now first, let me get this out of the way, as of course a Zed player, I am definitely happy with these buffs, but I also think that Riot is buffing the wrong areas of Zed. Zed is already known to be an exceptionally strong assassin in the laning phase, whether it's pre-6, at level 6, or even past level 6. He's definitely one of the more feared assassins when it comes to early to mid game. However, he's probably one of the easiest assassins to counter when it comes to late game. So Riot essentially took the good parts of Zed and just made them better, while the bad parts stayed just as bad. So before we go even further into this, let's actually take a look at the W changes. So here on your screen, the left side is going to be the live server W, and the right side is going to be the PvE W, and you'll easily notice the range difference. But the speed of the W coming out of Zed on the PvE is actually 0.1 seconds slower. At the end of the day, that's obviously nothing major, but again, if you play Zed a lot, then you might feel it for the first few games. But the increase in duration of 0.1 in exchange for what we're getting is definitely worth it. So again, as I said, as strong as the buffs are, and honestly, I do think that Zed will be a very strong mid lane assassin once again, assuming these buffs come as they are, I still do not think they're buffing the the right aspects of Zed. But with this new range, not only will he be easily outranging someone like an Annie or a Twisted Fate, so if they ever decide to walk up to use a spell on you, well, you throw out your W, you throw out the E, and you can simply zone them out like that. I mean, overall, the harassing potential in the laning phase will be easier since you can now do it at a longer range. Your kill pressure is absolutely ridiculous at level 6, level 11, and especially also when you finish Youmuu's as your first item. Again, since the games tend to be much faster and much more snowbally, well, this is only gonna help Zed snowball even harder. So if the changes do come out to the servers as they are, I do think Zed will be a very strong assassin in the mid lane. But that is about it for this video, guys. Those are the Zed changes on the live and the PvE servers. Let me know what you think. Again, I'm personally very excited for the PvE changes coming to Zed. I do think it'll make him very strong, though I wish they buffed his late game and left his early to mid game as is. So definitely throw in a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't, check out my other videos as well, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.